Ladies and gentlemen, for our Tech Talk on Modernize Your Network to meet the demands of modern workloads, we're now joined by Chintan Shah, Senior Network Solutions Engineer, Dell Technologies. A seasoned networking professional with 13 plus years of experience across different verticals like enterprise, managed service provider, data center, and cloud. He's been somebody who's been instrumental in designing, building, and maintaining large-scale customer networks, both locally and globally. We're also joined by Ravi Mishra, Network Solutions Engineer, Dell Technologies. Well, with this, I'd now like to humbly welcome on the stage and screen, Chintan and Ravi. Thank you for joining us. With this, the stage and screen is all yours.
A warm welcome to all of you who have joined, spending time, and for the next 1 hour, we will be trying to focus on some of the innovations that we are bringing to the industry with our, solutions that are bringing IT transformation and making the digital journey success for our customers. With that, all right, now coming to how we are different and what innovation we are doing in terms of networking solutions. So I will quickly cover you with some of the innovations that we have done recently and how our product lines and solutions are better against any other competition, and how we are changing the landscape in your digital transformation journey. So my name is Ravi Mishra. I'm part of Dell Technologies Networking, and I take care of the technical solution sizings in my day-to-day operations. It's time to modernize your network with Dell Technologies. Now, as you understand, this era is more towards software-defined. The software is gaining the momentum because it's a brain. The hardware is becoming independent of the software. So whether you talk about your compute, servers, storage, everything is software-driven. On the same trajectory, what we are doing in terms of software-defined networking is we are transforming the path of networking-oriented solutions towards SDN and bringing a lot of value to your data centers and campus fabrics by utilizing and beating the market expectations. And it seems that SDN users would be close to 3.5 times more likely to accept the SDN. Similarly, 97% of the companies are really committed to transform their data centers and their campus land towards SDN. And the deployment, the phase at which it is pacing, it's going to be twice, right? So how it is done and how we are doing that differently, I will showcase you in next of my slides. Now, what Dell Technologies in terms of open networking is doing, we are disaggregating the hardware and software. As if you compare with any traditional networking where you have a coupled operating system with the hardware and you don't have any choice, rather to stick with that vendor and use that hardware and software for your different use cases, whether that OS or the hardware might not be a right fit, but still you have to use that, you have to pay for that. And these are the monolithic architectures that most of the enterprises and customers nowadays are using for more than 2.5, 3 decades. Now, how Dell is different? We have disaggregated the operating system from the hardware platform, which essentially means that the switch has become a brainless entity. And on top of it, we are giving choice of multi-vendor NOS, which is network operating systems. And through this disaggregation, there is a choice for customers that they can choose the flavor of operating system for their business use case, which would be beneficial for them, whether it's a campus networking solution or it's a data center networking solution, doesn't matter. So we have done that transparency right from our hardware, and we have given the choice to the customers for choosing the right operating system for their business use case. And this sort of software-defined approach has given the flexibility, scalability, and agility in the network. And Dell Technologies is the first one to do so. Now, why to choose an open NOS? Rather, question comes up, right? So there are two aspects to it. One is how the compute industry changed. A lot of traditional approaches where you had Unix servers, you had IBM servers. These were the proprietary platforms. Now after the change came in long time back, and an x86 platform changed the market landscape, where you have a choice of the hardware and the OS. So OS could be from any vendor like Microsoft or Linux, and then you have the application and workload running on top of it. The same thing we are giving to our customers through our open networking innovative solutions, where you have a freedom of choice, you have flexibility, and with the flexibility of NAS, the momentum and the growth at which you can implement and make your application, your business critical workloads up and running is much, much faster as compared to the closed networking. And this is very much possible with the help of merchant silicons, open hardwares, and very, very scalable approach in terms of hardware and operating systems that's ready with the solution. So the trajectory is right, because you have to trend with the industry and you have to pace with the industry. Then the compute and the networking both are becoming now very, very common product lines for customers, because application has become critical nowadays, and they choose the application which is rather giving the value to their business, not the hardware. So hardware has become imperative. Now, how the Dell solutions ready with that? So we have different approaches in terms of network operating system offerings. So one is Dell EMC OS 10 Enterprise. This is the Dell operating system built on Linux unmodified platform. It is very, very agile, simple to implement, which helps you modernize your IT transformation journey with the automation features built into it. So Smart Fabric Services is one of the automation service that we run inside our OS 10. And this helps customers to implement the data center fabrics without depending on any other SDN controller. So no physical controllers. The switch can self-configure themselves, automation built in with 98% of reduction of the command line approach or the box by box approach. So it's a first of its kind solution that we are getting to our customers in terms of agility and simplicity and automation that it provides. So be it a VxRail hyperconverged platform or a PowerEdge rack server platform, or maybe Blade chassis platform, entire our product line, even the storage product lines like Isilon, PowerStore, and PowerScale. So the Smart Fabric Services is ready. It provides the automation on top of the hardware, where you don't need to configure box by box the entire spine and leaf fabric switches. So it's almost 98% reduction of time. So some of the use cases that are really interesting on this aspect of OS 10. So first, as I mentioned, the VxRail platform, which is the hyperconverged platform from Dell Technologies, that is one. And then similarly, other software-defined storage solutions like vSAN, vFlex, and then our PowerEdge servers. So you name the solution, Smart Fabric Services can do the job of automation. So no need to have any expertise on networking switches. Spine leaf deployments really simplifies. This is going to be self-forming fabrics with the help of a Smart Fabric Services. And it gives a very rich user experience because it can integrate with your existing orchestration platform through APIs. So if you are, let's say, OpenStack customer, if you are a VMware customer, or you are a heterogeneous, you are having a heterogeneous environment in your data center, we can integrate Smart Fabric Services with any of your orchestration platform, and it will provide a lot of other benefits like fabric lifecycle management, zero-touch fabric expansion and deployment, dynamic switch replacement, where you don't need to worry about what happens if my switch goes faulty, who will take care of the configuration of the new device. So it has already been taken care, because as soon as the switch gets connected, the new device gets connected to the rack, it self-configures. So there are certain benefits associated with that Smart Fabric Services offers you as a solution which can provide simplicity, agility, and automation to your DC. Some of the advanced services which are again available and offered with the Smart Fabric Services are the BGP EVPN based fabrics. And with the VXLAN coming into picture for large scale data center fabrics, this is going to be a self-forming automated fabric with the service that we provide in our switches from day one. And this is available free of cost to all our customers who have purchased S series or Z series switches. So this service is available in every OS 10 switch. You don't have to pay for this, don't need to invest in external SDN controllers or any licenses. So the deployment is taken care automated through this automated service, zero touch fabric deployment, automatic life cycle management, and it can integrate with your existing local area network or the core DC network with the help of border leaf approach, right? So you can integrate this Dell Smart Fabric deployment through border leaf to your existing DCs. A small, snapshot how this is done. So this is a scripting service that runs inside the switch. So you have to put only one single command and define the role of that switch, whether it's going to be a leaf switch or it's going to be a spine switch. And when you enter that, the switches will automatically reboot and they will form the fabric. So it's almost 98% reduction of the command line box by box approach. Now, for any large scale data center fabrics, we have solutions right scaling from 1 gig, 10 gig platforms to 400 gig platforms right now that we are giving to our customers and solving their day-to-day business problems. So in rack switching, whether they are going to be 25 gig platforms with 100 gig uplinks, fabric uplinks, and even 400 gig and 100 gig native spine switches that we cater to the market. So whether it's a service provider data centers or enterprise data centers, we have solutions oriented towards that. All right, this is the product positioning that we have, the breadth of portfolio from Dell Technologies in terms of networking offerings. So right from 1 gig platform and scaling up to 400 gig platforms, we have fixed format, low latency, high density chipsets which are running inside these switches. These are completely wire rate, the line performance switches. So for every other use case, you have the requirements for 10 gig platforms, 25 gig platforms, 100 gig platforms, or 400 gig platforms. We have the right model with best possible, commercial offerings on that. And this is going to be a combination which I think with Dell Technologies, ISD solutions like compute, storage, and hyperconverged coming with Dell Technologies networking will certainly provide you a lot of benefits in terms of automation and scale. Coming to the campus networking portfolio, we have two product lines right from the left, the 1108, which is the small 8-port switch, PoE capable for smaller closets, connecting to your Wi-Fi devices or probably CCTV cameras. It can provide PoE power to the endpoints. Then we have N1500 power switch platform, which is a 1 gig layer 2 switch with PoE capabilities of up to 30 watt per port. Then we have multi-rate platforms under N2200 series. This is 1 gig and 2.5 gig capable multi-rate switch. It can provide PoE power output of 30 watt and 60 watt per port based upon the end device that is going to connect on that port. Additionally, it has the uplink ports of SFP28, which are 25 gig optical ports. And at the rear side of it, it's having the stacking ports, 2 stacking ports of 40 gig each. So really a versatile model with redundant power supply, internal power supply options for high availability deployments at the aggregation layer or at the access layer, where you have the multi gigabit need for the last mile connectivity. And then we have the 3200 platform, which is our flagship layer 3 switch in fixed form factor. It can provide 1 gigabit, 2.5 gigabit, and 5 and 10 gigabit speeds on single Ethernet port. which you can utilize your existing Cat6a infrastructure or Cat7 infrastructure to provide the last mile connectivity for multi-rate device. In terms of power deliveries, it can deliver up to 90 watt per port, and obviously supporting the back power outputs of 30 watt and 60 watt. In terms of scalability, it can provide stacking up to 12 units, manageable with single IP address, and it's a layer 3 device with support for internal hardware power supplies. So it's going to be a a combination where you have the aggregation for 2200 platform and core for 3200 platform. So ideal fit for those scenarios. Then we have the third-party, network operating system choices that we provide to our customers on our Dell EMC switching platforms. So as we learned the OS 10, which is natively the Dell operating system, smart fabric capable, a lot of benefits in terms of automation and scale. Similarly, another NOS offering that we give on our switches is Sonic. I will cover more on Sonic. This is going to be really interesting. And then third is Pluribus Networks, which is a controllerless fabric solution offering from Pluribus. You don't need to invest in any external SDN controllers. With Pluribus network operating system, the switches themselves can form a self-healing automated fabric for data center and for DCI interconnect kind of use cases, whether it's going to be brownfield or greenfield deployments. So very simplistic solution, very, very agile and very self-healing and self-forming fabric that Pluribus can build. And the last is Pika 8, which is a campus networking operating system offering from our partner Pika 8. So this operating system runs on our campus switches. So for software-defined LAN use cases, Pika 8 is the answer. They can, with the help of Pika 8 NOS, you can build large-scale campus fabrics using core distribution and access layer switches, completely software-defined approach. Now, coming to quickly what Sonic is, if you have already heard the name, then I will double-click on some of the unique proposition and what Sonic is doing really disruption in the market in terms of data center fabrics. So Sonic is the software for open networking in the cloud. It was the Microsoft project, started in 2016, and now part of under Open Compute project since then. Currently, there are a lot of Sonic switches that are running in Microsoft Azure Cloud, more than 40,000. It is a very, very hyperscale operating system that can provide you extensibility, agility, and control over the data center fabrics. So Sonic allows the operators to control their data centers on their own terms and conditions because it is a fully customizable operating system, intent-based, supporting intent-based networking and API-centric and purpose-built for containerized workloads. Now, some of the unique proposition that we are doing with Sonic and Dell switching platforms is since 2020, we have started supporting Sonic on our entire open networking S and Z series switches. So on top of Sonic, we have developed something as a support and deployment offerings from Dell. So customers don't need to worry about the deployment and the support side of it because everything comes from Dell. Now, in terms of scalability and some of the features that Sonic can do is because it's based on extensible Debian Linux kernel, it has standardized standard-based protocol that you can run. Northbound interfaces are open with the help of OpenConfig and JSON or Google remote procedure calls. You can use standard Linux automation tools also for Sonic. It's a developer-ready, it's based on containerized architecture, so more sort of automation is supported, API-centric, and can provide a lot of security and portability. So customers who are really having large-scale data centers and they want to automate and reduce their costing in terms of hardware footprint also, and in terms of maintenance and support also, Sonic is the answer. Because it's been built by Microsoft Teams, so it's a cloud scale ready. It can support tens and thousands of VMs in a network, in a data center, and for multi-tenancy, And for other workloads like Hadoop and on-prem cloud deployments, Sonic can really help and solve your business problems with other vendors, data center fabrics could struggle. Now, in terms of scale and numbers that it can achieve, so right now, as you can see, if you have multiple geographically apart data centers, you can create pods and connect your data centers with the help of Sonic running in each DC. By creating smaller pods for servers and storage and other workloads, Sonic can scale from one tier to second tier and third tier regionally, where you can have spine and super spines introduced for better scale and for better manageability. So there's going to be a single dashboard that will help customers to manage their entire data centers across the geography. Now there is another interesting that we have done to Sonic, which is the Enterprise Sonic from Dell. So what Enterprise Sonic is, because Dell being a proven and trusted leader in the open networking space, we have historically given a lot of innovative networking hardwares to the industry with proven track records in terms of support and deployments. So similarly, we have done something innovative on top of the open community-based Sonic, is that we have included a lot of other deployment and support services, and also some of the application support and modifications on the code and integration that we have included on top of Sonic. So for our entire product line, the breadth of portfolio was 1 gig or 25 gig, 100 gig, and then 400 gig. We are supporting right from the hardware to the software for our customers, and there's going to be a single point of contact for customers in terms of the hardware and software with better ROI and better scalability. So these are some of the offerings that we regularly offer on our IST products like compute, storage, and the same offerings are available for Sonic also from Dell Technologies. So based on the SKUs that you would choose, like Pro Support or Pro Support Plus or Pro Support Advanced Services, then you get certain additional benefits on top of the regular support offerings. Integration with the Ansible, so being a very, very open NOS, this offers a lot of flexibility in terms of automation and deployment. So Ansible Playbooks are readily available from Ansible from Dell Technologies. So most of the playbooks are already ready, and you can tweak some of the existing templates that are available from Ansible Playbook side of it. There are a lot of resources that are available from the Sonic community also in terms of different use case and different deployment that one can do on Sonic. So Sonic Ansible is the answer which can do the orchestration and automation for your fabric deployments. So it's a very, very commonly used platform nowadays even for the compute infrastructure also. Now coming to some of the use cases that can be addressed with the help of Sonic. For large scale layer 3 fabrics, which are based on BGP, EVPN based class architectures, Sonic can do that with, right from scaling from very small setup of 2, 4, 8 racks and scaling up to thousands of racks in a typical large scale service provider data center. Sonic can do that. So with the help of automation and provisioning tools like Apstra or Ansible, and with some of the monitoring stuff coming from Octera networks or vRealize suite, if you are a VMware customer, then certainly from a single pane of glass with the help of APIs like REST APIs or GNMI, you can integrate with your existing orchestration platform. It can simplify the operation and management side of it. It can scale, as we learned, that from very small setup to very large scale fabrics based on BGP and EVPN, and VXLAN can be the overlay to do the job of layer 2 tunneling over the existing layer 3 boundaries. A lot of DevOps side of it, where developers and operations side are simplified, because by using these standard orchestration tools, you can achieve most of the things. while not going with the complexities of closed offerings from most of the vendors, where they built in their SDN controllers, and they have certain dependencies on model numbers and licensing schemas that are really confusing. So first point, we don't have any licensing schema. We don't have any SDN controller offerings, because the operating system is itself capable of forming the fabrics. So you talk about OS 10 or maybe the Sonic. And even for the underlay and overlay deployments, Sonic can do that with either the NSX kind of workloads, for microsegmentation, for different use cases like vCenter ready nodes or ESX deployments. Then from the single vCenter console, it can be achieved that from a single pane of glass, your entire compute and virtualization layer and network layer would be able to manage. So entire stuff from a single pane of glass with simplicity and manageability, and a lot of scale that it can provide. And for multi-tenancy, which is going to be the flagship offering for service provider customers and financial institutions, where you can segment the network right to the tenant level and do the routing to the host. So Sonic is supporting that right from day one, and they are avoiding the lot of complexities like spanning tree protocols, or running a lot of other complex routing protocols in the data center fabrics. Those are all gone, because this is going to be self-healing and very agile and simple fabric that Sonic can deploy on our switches with the help of lot of automation features that are available. And on top of it, some of the guys who are into DIY, so they can do things on their own. If they are Linux experts or they are programmers, so they can run these scripts and create certain other features on top of Sonic for achieving certain functionalities which are still missing, or maybe in closed networking architectures if they are not possible. So you can do with Sonic a lot of troubleshooting and automation. You can do that. So routing till the host this is going to be very, very interesting for customers who are into service provider domain or financial institutions, and they need every VM to be routed to other networks with the /32 kind of multicast, or maybe other deployment scenarios where you need the reachability until the host, and without depending on any layer 2 restrictions across the boundaries beyond the spine and leaf switches. To summarize, in terms of NOS offerings, we give choice to our customers. SDN capabilities are built in our network operating systems, even the OS 10, and our partner ecosystem partners like PK8 and Pluribus. They offer unparalleled value in the SDN deployments, because there are a lot of savings that you can do without including those complex SDN controllers. For large scale fabric, Sonic is the answer. If you are going to have a vision where you want to build multiple data centers across the geographies, across the continents, then Sonic can do really magic in that. And Dell Technologies services and support and deployment offerings is really bringing the gap closer, and we are transforming this IT journey of our customers from very, very complex monolithic architectures towards a more simple approach. So thank you from my side. That's all I have for today's session. For any inquiries or queries, you can write an email at delemc_solutions@dell.com.
So this is about the MPO, which I was talking about. So as I said, you can bring in any transport that you want, that you can think of, that is DSL, DIA, MPLS, whatever, right? And then we have gateways which are sitting right in front of the public cloud to form tunnels, and we transport your data securely. Now, one point, or one of the key things that I would like to touch upon on the adoption of SD-WAN is it has increased or scaled up this fast because not only does it technically addresses all the challenges that were being faced, okay, but what it also does is, because of this flexibility of transport, you don't have to necessarily buy an MPLS link, which is very, very expensive. You can have your enterprises or sites connecting using any of the links, right, which are like very, very low cost links, and this gets the management interested of all the companies. And this is, I would say, one of the topmost agendas of all these CXOs and CTOs to migrate their networks on SD-WAN as soon as they can, because there is a lot of not only capex saving but also opex saving, because you don't have to pay very high amount of dollars month on month to these expensive MPLS providers. Now, this slide which I'm showing right now is a classic case of how we correct the packet loss, latency, and stuff. So a site has an MPLS link and a Comcast cable, which is essentially a DSL cable. And you see that these links at all point in times have had packet loss, right? But if you see the eventual result offered by VeloCloud, it is without any kind of packet loss, because DMPO has corrected all the loss which occurred at any point in time. This is the beauty of the network. Now, what you are seeing here is a typical router based solution, wherein if you have 2% packet loss, what is the impact on the video that you see? But with VeloCloud correction using DMPO, you would not see any kind of disturbance, because the loss, as I said, has been taken care by DMPO. Now coming to the different options, because security is paramount for most of the organizations today. So we give them different options when it comes to security. One is you can use the inbuilt firewall, which is there in the VeloCloud box itself. If you don't want to do that, if you want to go for a cloud-based, subscription-based approach, we integrate very well with the ForcePoint and the Zscalers of the world. If you want to backhaul your traffic, as you had been doing in the MPLS era, to the data center and then break out, you can do it using the centralized firewall at the data center. And if you want to use or insert any kind of VNF within the box itself, so you can insert firewalls like Palo Alto and stuff, or VMs like Palo Alto and stuff, and then route the traffic through the SD-WAN box and VM. So all the options available on earth today for security are being integrated. So you can choose whatever fits the best for your organization. Yeah, I'm almost done. So these are some of the marquee customers wins which we have had in the past, and we continue to win a lot more with all of the major enterprises, organizations across different sectors. It can be banking and financial, oil and gas, and then we are across the board. Thank you guys for taking time out and patiently listening to both me and Ravi, and contributing to the chat as well. We have tried to ensure the deliver best, and we hope to do as much business as we can in the coming future.